angelic, ingenious supplies.
What's up, Spikes? Welcome back to the third episode of the Dash Gauntlet. I am Bill from the Spike Feeders, which is also just coincidentally the channel that you're watching this on right now. And joining me once again this week, and still reprising their role as the challenger of the gauntlet, we have Cayleigh.
Hi, I'm Cayleigh, and today I am playing Dash Database through the Goliath Gauntlet. Dash is a mechanologist hero, which mech has been around for a little while, since Arcane Rising, the second set ever, but it was fairly narrow in its kind of strategy and its plan, just sort of boost aggro attacks. With Bright Lights, they gave us different avenues for that. Most notably, they printed a wizard into the mech class, and of course, that's where my heart absolutely had to go. So we are playing Dash Database today, where top of our deck, we get to manipulate it, we get to look at it all the time. If it's an item, we get to play it. That's always fun. And just get to abuse that however many ways we want to. To supplement that, we also have our Symbiosis Shotgun, which anytime an item comes into play, gets a steam counter with a maximum of 6, and then we can remove a steam counter to shoot Bill's face for 2.
I can't believe it says that on the card. Like, shoot Bill's face for 2.
Shoot Bill's face for 2.
It's really rude.
Very specific. But notably, this is not a once per turn action. So if we get extra action points, then it allows us to just present tons of extra damage, potentially for minimal investment. And it's absolutely fantastic. On top of that, our equipment set has stayed pretty standard this entire gauntlet. We've got our Crown of Providence, our Teklo Foundry Heart, our Goliath Gauntlet, the name of the movie, and our Achilles Accelerator, filling out our set.
Excellent. Yeah, it's been working pretty well for you up to this point. So we'll see if it keeps on keeping on.
Yeah, like we have a couple of equipment for specific matchups. Most notably Visiertronic for if we end up against the Emperor. Sadly, the only true wizard left in the format. Both Kano and Icelander have left, and I have been heartbroken for weeks.
But you know, the Emperor still a pretty good wizard. All
he's
things
still
considered.
a pretty good wizard, but he's not tricksy like a wizard.
Yeah,
Dash is more tricksy like a wizard.
That's true, actually. Yeah. And speaking of tricksy like a wizard, Prism. Prism is not tricksy like a wizard. Sometimes she can be, depending on the build that you want to do. There are people that do like the aura build and stuff like that. That's not what I'm about. I don't mess around with that. This is my aggro Prism deck.
You're playing like a brute.
I'm playing essentially like a brute, but also don't hit me too hard or I'll cry, is the idea. So
like a brute.
Like a brute, exactly. You look at young KO, he would absolutely cry.
Oh, probably.
Anyway, so yes, I am playing Prism. I am playing Aggro Prism. This deck revolves around using buffs to buff things that aren't illusionist things into illusionist like levels of damage and utility and whatever. So notably that'll be, I'm using things like Transmogrify and Phantasmify to put onto things such as Overload or Snatch or Spectral Prowler to make those big attacks. And I also do have like Wartune Heralds and stuff like that just to sort of round that out. The thing that allows me to attack multiple times per turn is the trusty two-handed scepter, the Luminaris.
Most busted weapon in the entire game, maybe?
The reason that this deck exists is because of Luminaris. Yep. It is because this card is so good that it just allows me to, whenever I buff something into an illusionist attack, it just gets go again. That's not fair.
No.
It's never been fair. And I hope to showcase that today. Rounding it out, I do also have the Crown of Providence. We've mentioned it before. Best headpiece in the game currently. It's just so dang good. We also have the Popped Collar Polo, which is it's basically just another version of Blossom of Spring. It is much cooler though because it has James White's signature and face on it.
I'm so envious of that promo. I wish I could have one. They're so
know.
nice.
There were 3 of them and I only got 1.
But they were each day, right?
It was each day. And once they revealed that this was from the first day, before people like knew that it was happening, then the remainder of the days, people just immediately filled up the queue because they were like, we know that there's going to be something. So this is the only one that I was able to get, but I still really like it. I also really like Wave of Reality. Just ends up being 2 block, kind of apportioned over 2 things. It kind of helps for chip damage. And we also have Phantasmal Footsteps, which is mostly just pretty in this deck. If you're popping my stuff, I cry anyway. So getting my action point back doesn't really help, but you know, it's fine. It's good enough as it is. But yeah, anyway, so that's the spiel for my deck. I believe you decided that you were going to go first.
I won the die roll again. I have won the die roll every game this gauntlet.
Yes.
And I have decided to go first this time because I know your Prism specifically can leak a lot of damage.
Yes, I'm going to hopefully present you with a lot of damage and a lot of life choices that you need to make.
I don't like making life choices. Those are hard.
Those are very hard. But you know what isn't hard? Opening up our decks from these Game-genic bastions.
Starting turn 1, I'm going to begin by playing a red boom grenade off the top of my deck as an instant.
Oh.
Pitching a yellow boom grenade.
Oh my god.
Choosing not to, or guess, I'm pitching.
Yes.
We have a floating resource. Choosing not to crank this, and my Symbiosis shot will get a counter from it entering. But because that was an instant, it doesn't take my action point.
Yes.
So I'm going to follow that up by playing a yellow boom grenade, choosing to also not crank that.
Wow.
2 counters on my Symbiosis shot. I will then proceed to arsenal this card and pass the turn.
I wanted you to attack me.
I know you want me to attack you, and I had a hand with 2 yellow boom grenades in it.
Fine, I guess. Like I said, I wanted you to attack me, and yet you didn't, which is rude. So I will be pitching this yellow Snatch to attack you with this yellow Wartune Herald for 6 with Go again, thanks to Luminaris.
I will declare no blocks. Do you have any reactions?
I do not have any reactions.
I will go to 12.
You will. So Wartune Herald will trigger, and it goes into my hero's soul. I believe what I'm going to be doing after that is just pitching the Spectral Prowler so that I can activate Prism's ability, which allows me to create a Spectral Shield.
So you'll have 2 resources floating?
I will have 2 resources floating.
Perfect.
And I'm just going to attack you for 1 with the Spectral Shield.
I'll take 1.
Excellent. I will arsenal this last card in my hand. Sorry, I activated Prism's ability, which does banish the card from my soul. Sort of skipped over that, but I will be ending the turn.
Sounds good. Start of my turn. Both of these boom grenades are going to lose their counters, but they get to stick around, which is always lovely for me. We are going to get this shindig started by presenting you a blue 0 to 60 boosted. Boosting away a blue Sprocket Rocket.
I will choose to not block and move to reactions.
Reactions.
I would like to ask you if that's all you got.
It's not all I got, but that is a successful block on my 0 to 60.
Excellent.
I'm going to follow that up with looking at new information.
Yes.
And then presenting you another blue 0 to 60, boosting this blue Expedite.
I'm going to choose to not block.
Okay.
The 2 damage will be eaten up by the Ward 1 from Wave of Reality and by my Spectral Shield that currently exists.
Yep.
So that will create...
Makes a new shield.
A second shield.
Hey! I will then follow that up with a blue Data Link, boosting away this Pulse Wave Harpoon for 1. Go again. On hit, opt 1.
Intriguing. I will declare no blocks.
Correct.
My Spectral Shield will eat that 1 damage.
Yep. And then to wrap this up, I'm going to present you a max velocity for 10.
Ooh.
Pitching this Spark of Genius.
So this is really for 17?
It's 17, but if you block 10, then you're okay.
Okay. I'm not going to block.
So at last game, I was incredibly greedy on not blocking, and now you're going to be incredibly greedy and take 17 damage.
I am taking 17 damage and going to 3.
Fair enough. I will then pass the turn from there. You're going to draw a card.
My chain link closes, I draw a card.
And I will pass the turn back to you.
Hopefully this greed pays off.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
Because if it doesn't, I will be probably very sad. I'm going
no.
to play this Transmogrify.
Yep.
It is a yellow Transmogrify, so it makes my next attack base 7 power, gains the Illusionist tag and Phantasm. I've pitched a yellow Spears of Surreality in order to pay for that, so I have 1 resource floating.
Okay.
I would like to use that buff on this blue Snatch from my arsenal. So it is an attack for 7 with a Phantasm and go again. And on hit, draw a card.
Sounds bad for me. I am going to block with this Bioseptate from hand, as well as both my Crown and Teklo Foundry Heart.
Excellent.
Crown trigger, I will choose to bottom this card.
Okay. So you have blocked for...
I
that's
blocked
7?
for 7.
That is 7? Okay, perfect. Since that had go again, I would like to follow that up by playing a fractal replication from hand. So because this modifies base power, this is coming in for 7 with go again and on hit draw a card.
It sure is, isn't it? I would like to block for 3 and take 4.
Okay.
Which means you were going to draw a card.
I will draw a card off of the snatch effect. Well, that doesn't do anything that matters other than the thing that I was going to do anyway, the card that I drew. But I will be following that up with another fractal replication for 7 on hit draw a card.
Sadly, I can block for 3 with this Expedite, but the last card in my hand is this Script, which does not have block because this is what our crown drew us.
Okay.
And therefore, I cannot block enough and I die.
Are you dead? You're at 7? Or
Yeah, and I
you...
block for 3. Oh no, I'm at 7.
This is attacking for 7.
Yeah, I block for 3.
Yeah.
So I take 4.
Yes.
I go to 3.
So I draw a card.
Yeah, no, okay. I don't know why I was... My math was like, oh yeah, it's still 7. I don't know how.
I do...
Do you have another attack though?
I do. I drew into
Yeah, there it is.
Pursuit of Knowledge for lethal, pitching Phantasma Fire.
There we go.
But yes. So, something that Cayleigh was mentioning before we started the game, I think it was when you were determining who goes first.
Yeah.
One of the things you mentioned was, this is just a game of racing.
Yes.
And I think what I said in response to that was, if I find my fractal replications, I maybe kill you.
Yeah. And you successfully did exactly that.
Yes. So yeah, this was an attack for 25.
Yep. I got to attack you for what? I guess
It was
17
similar.
and then 1s and 2s. So
Yeah, but it was like 24, I think, because it was 2, 2, 1,
and then 17. So
Yeah.
22. Yeah.
22. Yeah.
Okay.
So very similar turns, honestly.
Yours just happened to be more successful at lethal.
It's the drawing cards that really. I
Yeah.
mean, but you get to draw cards too.
I get to see the information. I don't
Yeah.
always get to draw the card.
I guess you know what we can blame it on. We can blame it on the Flesh and Blood balancing team. Dash database has -2 health.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I don't
anyway.
think it would have mattered to that pursuit. But
Yeah, maybe not. But anyway, that was
a very
another
quick
fun,
game.
Another
but very
quick
fun.
game, very fun game. I always enjoy playing this aggro Prism deck. I was gonna say aggro dash a bunch of times in a row there, but no, it's kind of funny in a way. At least for that last turn that you had, it feels very similar to this, where you are building up to a thing that happens. And for me, building up to it is just getting 1 or 2 pieces. But for you, you can have like the boom grenades. The boom grenades can either be relevant on the turn that you play them or the turn after you play them. Like it gives you a lot of flexibility.
It does.
And a lot of damage.
It's, yeah, the threat of them even just sitting around means that even on like, say you don't want to necessarily give me cards, but if you don't, there's just extra floating damage right there.
Yeah, like it's almost the equivalent of, oh, I need to block effectively so that my opponent doesn't get a Mask of Momentum trigger, except instead it's, oh, if I don't block effectively, my opponent hits me for 7.
Yeah.
Like just has a Wartune Herald stapled onto this 0 to 60.
Or at the end there, a Max Velo with 2 boom grenades. It's just, it takes 17.
Yeah, but yeah, once again, very fun game. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Just barely didn't quite get there, but we've got one more game to play.
One more game to play, just so that we can potentially have it tied up, because I think right now it's 1-2.
I don't remember, and it's fine.
It's fine. It doesn't. We're just having fun.
We're having fun.
Here. Hope you're having fun too. You at home, thank you so much for hanging out with us and supporting us. We really do appreciate it. Stay well, stay safe. We'll catch you all in the next episode.
Hey, thanks for checking out the Spike Feeders on YouTube. Before you close the window, make sure you click subscribe for more great Flesh and Blood content.